Welcome, wives. It's Liz. Do you ever feel tossed about by your emotions? I've talked before about how I see that God created men and women so differently, but there's a beauty in that design because it helps us balance each other out, and it means that we do need each other. So part of that beauty in God's design is that as women, He created us to be very in touch with our emotions. So generally, as women, we're a lot more emotional, while men are a lot more rational. So that, I think, is a beautiful thing because it means that it's easier for us to empathize. It's easier for us to see other people's needs and connect and then act in a way to meet those needs. At the same time, though, our emotions can make our reality seem a lot different than it objectively is. In this video, I've titled it Love Beyond Feelings. And as wives, I pray that we can get beyond our feelings, not be carried away by the waves of our feelings, whether they're happy or sad or whatever, the whole range of emotions, that we could be centered in God's love and in the truth about who God says we are and who God is. Very often, I'll find myself really emotional or just feeling really mad about something. And of course, this being a channel that's for wives and aspiring wives, it's a lot to do with my husband. And I will sometimes just think, oh my goodness, I can't believe that he can't see what's going on, or he's not realizing why I'm feeling this way. And the truth is that he might not even have a clue what is going on. But because I'm in this emotional state, then I find confirmation for what I'm feeling. Whatever he does, I'm like, yeah, you see? But the funny thing is that within a very short time, I don't even remember what I was mad about. It can be within the span of a day that I'm on this end of the emotional spectrum, come over on this side, and then by the end of the day, I'm in a totally different place. And I don't even remember what those emotions were about. So here are some tips that I found have worked for me. First of all, realizing that my emotions may be tied to something else that's going on. Now, as a woman who has menstrual cycles, I learned early that my menstrual cycle really does affect my emotions. One thing I learned, I think in college sometime, I realized that if I ate a lot of sugar before my period, boy, that did a number on my emotions. I mean, I think it was an event I was at right before my period, and they had such yummy desserts. And the funny thing is, I think before my period, I kind of craved sugar. But then if I gave in to the craving for sugar, then it really got my emotions out of whack during my period. So realizing that what you're feeling may not really be about the circumstance itself, but just something else that's going on. Another thing I think is weather. We are still in winter where I live, and I tell you, there are some days when it's just cloudy and gray and snowy or just ugh, and I just don't want to do anything. I mean, I just tell the kids if they're home, we're just gonna stay home and find fun things to do here, because I'm not in any mood to go anywhere. I don't have the energy or desire. And I honestly think that the reason why Kenyans are so positive, and let me tell you in case you didn't know, Kenyans are such positive people. Here's a life tip. If you don't have a Kenyan friend, go out and make a Kenyan friend it will improve your life. I can almost guarantee it. Kenya is split in half by the equator. And so we have pretty much 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night all through the year. Also, our weather does not fluctuate very much. We don't get super cold or super hot. It's just this really nice in-between temperature. And I don't think my parents are ever gonna live with us full-time here in the US because of how good the weather is in Kenya. I mean, maybe we'd have to move to Florida or something. But the weather, I think, has such an effect on our mood, on our feelings. And when it comes to Kenyans, I will add probably also tea. I think the Kenyan weather, along with the tea that we consume, well, Kenyan tea is really good. Another public service announcement. But we drink a lot of tea. And that gentle caffeine just kind of makes you feel like it's not that bad. Then you look outside and the sun is shining, and then you look and see there's somebody walking down the street who's smiling, and they probably have things worse than you do. That lends to a positive attitude, let me tell you. So it could be the weather. If you're feeling down, don't make any rash decisions or do something that might be so grounded in your emotions. It might just be the weather. If you can, go out for a walk and appreciate the fresh air if you don't have sunshine. If you do have sunshine, go out and get some of that vitamin D. See if it will help some.